What is up, guys? Today we are going to be looking at the Game Week 11 team selection. So of course, before we start, you know what you got to do. Like and subscribe. Let's get right into it. Starting out with the transfer I made. I had one free transfer, guys, and I'm dead ending my team this game week. I am going into Game Week 12 ready to use my wild card. So I thought, who can bring me the best value for a 1 week punt in Game Week 11? Now, if you saw the transfer plans video, you would see I was fully focused on selling Rodgers or selling Amad Diallo and leaving Rodgers on my bench and leaving Watkins to play. But after Amad Diallo's 2 goals in the Europa League, I think he may have earned himself a start playing home to Leicester, which completely changes things. But if I am wrong, this is kind of the perfect game week to take a risk because I'm going to wildcard next game week. If anything goes wrong, then I don't have to worry much about changing my team because I've got unlimited transfers. Now, talking about the player I brought in, it's kind of simple. What other forward would I bring in? Within my budget, of course. I can't afford Haaland. I can afford anyone else. But Solanke was clearly the best option here for me, guys. Playing home to Ipswich. Ipswich are clearly the worst team in the league this season. So I've gone with Solanke because he's also got the expected goals to back it up. I was leaning towards Cunha. I was. But I didn't fancy it because it's just not as reliable as Solanke at this point in the game. So yeah, bit of a no-brainer on this one. Also clears a bit of risk in my team at the same time because Solanke's ownership is getting a bit higher. So yeah, let's get right into the whole team. Now guys, the team looks so good this game week, I've got to be honest. First off in goal, we got Flecken, the guy who still is yet to keep a clean sheet for me. He has had 2 clean sheet wipeouts in stoppage time, and it's really getting on my nerves, guys. I've got to be honest. The first one against Southampton, he conceded in 90 plus 5. He wasn't on like a huge haul, but he was on some clean sheet points. He lost me about 4 or 5 points because of that, which is obviously so frustrating. But what's even worse is last game week, in stoppage time, going into stoppage time, 90 plus 1 minutes or whatever, he was on for 12 points. I was so happy and I was so looking forward to finally getting my Flecken points, okay? A few minutes later, he concedes 1 goal. I'm quite gutted, but I checked the bonus points and I see he's still on for an 8-pointer combined with the save points. And I'm like, wow, 8 points with no clean sheet on a penalty save? No goalkeeper except Flecken could ever do that. This is why I brought him in my team. This is where he is finally going to show what he's worth. Then I check my phone again and I see it goes 2-1 to Fulham. I couldn't believe it, guys. I was so mad. So yeah, Flecken and I, we're not good friends. We're not. I'm not going to like him. He's going to leave my team on this wild card. Hopefully we can end on a good note, but I very much doubt it. The defence is definitely the weakest part of this team. Aït-Nouri, home to Southampton, I've got high hopes for, at least 1 return from him. But then again, I can't be too, expecting much because he's only a 4.7 mil defender. Gavardio away to Brighton, that's not an easy game, but there's always a small chance Man City keep a clean sheet. And also there's a chance Gavardio scores because he seems to be doing it every other week at this point. And finally, we got Trent at home to Aston Villa. Now, I thought bringing in Trent last week was a good idea because I thought he was going to keep a clean sheet. But he didn't. He only got me like 1 or 2 points. He blanked basically. And this game week, home to Aston Villa, while it's not the hardest game, I don't think he's going to get a return. If I'm being fully realistic with myself. But like I said, always a chance. He has the highest expected assists for a defender. Top 3 for expected assists in the entire game. So definitely a good FPL asset. It's just, playing home to Aston Villa is not the easiest game. The midfield is looking so sexy, guys. First off, we got Maddison at home to Ipswich. That is a great player to have in my team this game week, as long as he actually starts. It was like the first game week, last game week, where he didn't start. He still managed to get me a goal, but it's quite worrying that he didn't start. I don't think he gets benched again, guys. I really doubt it. At least I'm hoping he doesn't get benched again, because this fixture is like so peak. It's like the best one any team could have. And if Tottenham are out here scoring 5 goals with Maddison on the bench for all of them, I'm going to feel like I've been hard done by, because why is Maddison not playing and getting me some of these points? Then we got Mbumo, home to Bournemouth. His effective ownership is so high, his points don't really positively affect me that much, but they do help a little bit. So yeah, I guess I rate him, but at this point, it's just, a precaution to own him. If you don't own him, you're just asking to shoot yourself in the foot. Now guys, the other 2 midfielders are the differential risks of the team. So you see Amad Diallo, he is at risk of not starting, but I do think he will at least play. And when he was starting early on in the season, he got 2 goal involvements in 4 games, which, I know it's not special, but it shows he can actually get returns when he's starting. Being a 4.9 million player, I can't expect loads from him. But if Man U do go into this game scoring 5 goals like they did against Leicester, and Amad Diallo is on the pitch for 3 or 4 of them, it's quite unlikely he's not going to be involved. So I'm really hoping for something similar, just like in the Carabao Cup when they battered him 5-2. I'm hoping Diallo can be on the end of these returns like he was on Thursday against, that Greek team, however you say it. The real juicy stuff here comes from my captain. A captain who is not Erling Haaland. Guys, I've captained Haaland every single game week this game week except game week 1, which is where I captained Salah. So my captaincies have been very safe this entire season. I've not taken a risk whatsoever. But guys, like I said, the game week before a wildcard, I always feel like taking some risks because what is the worst that can happen? Haaland is currently blanking almost every game week, even though he's getting the expected goals. And going into this game week away to Brighton, that's the hardest game week he's had in like the last 5. So I'm really not scared of him not being my captain, especially because his effective ownership isn't going to be too high. It's going to be high enough to the point where his points will negatively affect me, but it's not going to be so high that it kills my rank. So I'm thinking this is the perfect time to go with a Bruno Fernandes captaincy option. He is second for expected data in the last 4 game weeks. The part I'm kind of scared to mention is the fact he's only second to Haaland, who is in first. Haaland has got 3.8 expected goal involvements and just 1 goal from it. So he could easily turn everything around and bag a hat-trick at any point. We know this. But I just don't think it's going to happen this game week. I'm going with Bruno, who is on every set piece and involved in everything Manchester United do. Now, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't recommend any of you do this. Like, I'm not telling you guys to captain Bruno. I'm just saying, if you want to join me and take a risk, it might not be the worst idea. In the front 3, guys, obviously we've got Haaland. He's not really a player in my team because his points are going to negatively affect me. Just hope this geezer blanks. We got Solanke, the new transfer in. Told you guys about him already. Playing home to Ipswich, guys. Tottenham have only scored less than 3 goals in 1 home game this season, and that was against Arsenal. Every other home game they've played, they've scored at least 3 or 4 goals. So this game against Ipswich, I'm expecting around 4 goals, if not more. I mean, what's the odds your team scores 4 goals and the main striker isn't involved in any, I just don't see it happening. And finally, guys, my favourite player in FPL this season, you already know who it is. I go on about him every time. Such an attractive man. Oh my God. It's Chris Wood. Chris Wood, home to Newcastle. It's a great fixture on paper, but the Newcastle defence isn't insanely strong at the moment. So this game for Chris Wood, I'm not too worried about it. I'm quite optimistic. Anyway, guys, that just about does it for the team selection. Let me know what you guys think of the team. Did I make the right transfer? Let me know. Did I make the right captaincy? No, let's be honest, I didn't. Anyway, if you have made it this far, you are always greatly appreciated. And yeah, guys, I will see you in the next game week.